Good morning, students. Students, we were experiencing about a fluid connective tissue which is very essential for our body, that is the blood. We know that the blood donation banks accumulate a huge amount of blood so that it should be transferred to the patient's body during any kind of injury. So we should understand its importance by knowing that it contains some cells, that is a white blood cells or the leukocytes or blood platelets, which help the body to recover or heal any kind of wounds during injury, and even it protects from any kind of infections or pathogens. So from it rises the importance of WBCs and the blood platelets. Okay, so as I told you about the red blood cells and the various types of liquid matrix present in the blood, that is the blood plasma, we are understanding that the white blood cells are present in this plasma and they play a very important role and they are living, whereas the platelets which are involved in the healing of the wounds of any patient's body are non-living. Now let us understand what actually the white blood cells are, or leukocytes. These cells act as a defense system against any infection in the human body. First of all, we should know the white blood cells are involved in the defense system. That means they are protecting the body from any kind of infections in the human body. And these white blood cells are mostly nucleated, they are shapeless, they can take any shape, and they are large size, and even they are colorless. Okay, they are colorless, that is why they are named as a white blood cells. They do not have any color because they do not contain a pigment like a red blood cell, that is a red respiratory pigment, that is hemoglobin, where because of the absence of hemoglobin the white blood cells are considered as colorless, and we say them as a white blood cells. Now these cells act as a defense system against infection in the human body, and they produce special kinds of proteins called antibodies which identify and fight pathogens invading the human body. Now there are various types of WBCs which may be phagocytes or immunocytes. Now the phagocytes are the cells or the WBCs, types of WBCs which are involved in engulfing any kind of foreign bacteria, foreign microorganism. So it is helping to engulf any kind of microorganisms or pathogens. So that is why it is named as phagocytosis. Why are we saying it phagocytosis? Because phagocytosis means phagocytosis is a process in which any object, any cell engulfs any food particle or any microorganism or any bacteria inside it. So in this way we are understanding that the phagocytes are the types of WBCs which may be the granulocytes or agranulocytes. The white blood cells which contain the visible granule-like structures in the cell bodies. The granules maybe you can consider as the secretory vesicles which are present in the cell. So the granule-like structure in the cell bodies, hence they are named as granulocytes. And the three kinds of granulocytes are neutrophils, basophils, and eosinophils, which has been mentioned in this case. They are all involved in engulfing the bacteria or any kind of pathogens. Now the dot structure in this particular vesicle or this particular cell, you can see, can be considered as the granules. Now the agranulocytes do not possess these granule-like structures and includes monocytes. They contain monocytes or lymphocytes because they do not contain any granules, that is why they are considered as agranulocytes. And they also has the important function of engulfing the bacteria and cellular debris at the injured site. Now the second type of WBC are the immunocytes which produce antibodies and are involved in the immune response. And the immune response is totally dependent on the number of antibodies any cell produces, and they include the lymphocytes, as I told you, which have a nearly spherical nucleus and a little cytoplasm. And the lifespan of WBC is considered to be 12 to 20 days. It depends on person to person. A young child has a more number of WBCs as considered to adult, and similarly a pregnant woman has a more number of WBCs as considered to a normal woman, because the WBCs helps in protection and they act as a defense system of our body. That is why the WBCs are very important in our body. Okay, and if any person lacks WBCs, that means he's easily prone to any kind of particular disease. And finally, if we get injured or find any injury in our body, the platelets are minute fragments of blood cells that help in the formation of clots in the body to stop bleeding. Okay, so who is involved, which cell is involved in it, that is which protein is involved in it, that is a fibrinogen. Okay, the fibrinogen protein helps to coagulate the blood, and with the help of platelets are minute fragments of blood cells. That means the blood cells are being fragmented into minute fragments, and that help in the formation of clots in the body to stop bleeding. And any damage in the blood vessels send signals to the platelets, and the platelets immediately reach that place and coagulate together to form the blood platelet and stop the flowing of the blood from our body. You must have experienced when you have got injured while playing any sports. So this is the artery from which the blood is being flowing. This is the yellowish straw colored is the plasma. The bluish color, this is the lymphocyte, which is a type of WBC which is comes under immunocyte. These are eosinophils, monocytes, neutrophil and basophil are all types of WBCs. And this is the red blood cell, which is the biconcave in shape and which are involved in the transfer of oxygen to the different parts of the tissues and different body parts. And now students, the different function of blood. Now you are easily familiar with the different kinds of functions of the blood, which may be the transfer of nutrients, hormones and vitamins to the tissues, and transfer excretory products from the tissues, the liver and the kidney. And the WBCs fight diseases either by engulfing or destroying foreign bodies or by producing antitoxins and antibodies that neutralizes the harmful effects of germs. Okay, and the blood platelets, that disintegrates the site of injury and help the clotting of the blood, and the RBCs carry oxygen to the tissue for the oxidation of foodstuff. So I read it a bit faster because you are familiar with these different types of functions of the blood. And in the next class we are going to study about the lymph. So please students, please note down this content which I have typed for you, especially in these slides. This is important content. You should know about the blood properly because it is a very essential tissue, very important tissue in our body, and you should be healthy. You should eat good food. You should have a clean blood. You should not be intoxicated with any kind of intoxication. You should avoid that, so that your blood should be pure, and you should have a pure mind for working properly and accumulate and learning and for accumulating knowledge in your mind. Okay, thank you students, thank you very much. I don't have words. Thank you.